Hey, what's going on, GameLeapers? This is the Jizz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 15 best top laners for 11-15, and there are a lot of changes coming in next patch for top lane champions. So to know who you have to pick to give yourself the best chance of winning in 11-15, strap yourselves into that gaming chair of yours for the next 10 minutes or so. And let me just say that yes, there are some champions that are more broken than others, but if you actually want to climb on this game, playing a different champion probably isn't going to do it. You know what it is? Signing up to the GameLeap website for exclusive access to our Challenger tier content, guides, videos, courses. They are made by the best players and coaches around the world to help you become one of us. So join the club, guys. Get signed up. Links, as always, in the description and comment section. And let's get into the video. Now, coming in at number 15, starting us off, we have Mordekaiser. And Mordekaiser might be a little weird hearing this, because in higher elos, he does struggle, you know, getting kited all over the place. But in lower elos, he is very effective. And next patch, he's going to be even more effective, even in the higher echelons. And this is because he's getting buffed. So what's happening is your W's cooldown is down at all ranks by 2 seconds. And this next stat, as you can see, the damage stored is up by 10%, which means the post-mitigation damage you deal to an enemy champion, more of this is going to get pumped into that shield of yours when you actually W. So in terms of your dueling potential in the top lane, this is so much better, like lower cooldown and a bigger shield. Like, who doesn't want that? I also think if you do want to play an AP champion, Mordekaiser is definitely one of the best, and it's also better to play Mordekaiser in the top lane at the moment, guys, because Stride Breaker has been changed, so there's no dash in it anymore, and the slow is down as well, so top lane is just easier to play. So if you want to play an AP bruiser in the top lane in 11-15, you can't really beat Mordekaiser. Now, who likes a bit of split pushing? Because next patch, guys, Alawi is going to be someone you're going to have to pick if you like to 1v9 and side lane the whole game. Now, it's no surprise that Alawi with Divine Sundra does do a lot of damage, and the recent buffs to Alawi, okay, the mana one was a bit troll, but the movement speed actually helps you kite your enemies and get in better position to all in them. And what's happening next patch is that Hullbreaker is getting buffed, so the armor and magic resist you get from the item when you're side laning, you are getting more of these in the late game, and because you'll be getting Hullbreaker typically as like your third, fourth major item, you're going to be in that late game anyway when you buy it, so you will notice the difference straight away. So if you want to play a split pusher, Alawi in 11-15. Now, I did just mention Mordekaiser, guys, as the AP bruiser for 11-15, but there is a better one, and this is Gwen, who is banned in 50% of games. That's how broken we all think she is, and yeah, she is kind of broken, even though she's getting nerfed next patch, so your ease attack speed is going to be down. It's going down from 40% to 20%, and this will mean something in terms of like your Conqueror stacking and your DPS, of course, but the fact is that Gwen is still going to be innately strong. She's a bit like Wukong in a way. Even though Wukong is getting nerfed next patch, he's still going to be good because of his kit, and Gwen falls into that category as well. With Riftmaker, with Nasus 2, you can even build Bramble Vest into AD-based champions in the top lane or attack speed-based champions. So if the enemy team don't ban Gwen next patch, guys, you have to lock her in jab select. Now, beating Gwen to the number 12 spot on this countdown, guys, this is going to cause a lot of commotion in the comments, I know. This is Tahm Kench, and I know you're probably like, how on earth can Tahm Kench be on this list? I'm serious, guys. Tahm Kench's win rate at the moment in top lane in all elos is like 52-53%. And I know win rates, yeah, okay, they can be misleading, but this is serious. This is in every elo he's performing very well, and the reason is because of the recent buffs to Tahm, and in particular the new effect Riot added where your passive damage is now in your Q. So whenever you Q an enemy champion now, you are going to be dealing extra damage. So in terms of top lane, in terms of dueling potential, even poke and harass, this is significant, and because of your new W, the Abyssal Dive, this gives you setup and also escape potential in the top lane, so if you do get ganked or if you get a gank from your own jungler, you have the setup now to get easy kills or to avoid easy deaths. And if any of you have played or played against Tahm Kench this patch, let me know in the comments what that experience was like. Alright, so we've had Mordekaiser, we've had Gwen. Well, how about another AP champion in the top lane, guys? And this is Sylas. So if the enemy team has a top laner, especially a tank, with a ridiculous ultimate you can steal, like a Malphite ultimate, an Ornn ultimate, you're going to be the scariest champion on the Rift, right? Because with these ultimates, you deal so much damage with them, and because you're against a tank in the top lane, it should be pretty easy just to scale and get your Everfrost spike, your Lucidity boot spike, and pop off. And I understand that Sylas is getting nerfed next patch, right? Like your W is going down in base damage and AP ratio, but your Q is increasing. So maybe in the early game, if you're against a bruiser, let's say like Aurelia, for example, putting a few points in your Q might be the new viable strategy. But overall, I think the W nerf really isn't going to impact Sylas that much, and because his kit is just straight out busted, to be honest, he is still going to be very strong indeed. Now, the best AP top laner, guys, you can pick for next patch, even though she is getting nerfed, Kayle. This is it. And we ain't talking the vegetable. So your magic resist is going down by 4, right? But in the top lane, how often is it that you're going to be playing against a magic damage champion? It's pretty rare, right? Like most of the time, you're going to be going against AD champion. So this will have much less of an effect in the top lane. In the mid lane, of course, it's going to have an effect because you are against mages for the most part. But in the top lane, it is for the most part a free scaling lane. Once you get to Nasus 2 from Riftmaker, enemy champions cannot touch you, and because of the recent buffs to your passive in terms of its damage and range, once you get to level 16, it is a for sure your victory. So Kayle comes in at number 9. Now beating Kayle to number 8 on this list, guys, is Susan. And for Nasus players, again, another patch where you're on this countdown. And it's quite simple, right? Divine Sunderer isn't getting nerfed, so this is still really broken. Nasus himself isn't getting nerfed, so he's still really broken. And Hullbreaker is getting improved. So once you get this, you become even more of a menace in that side lane, so Nasus has to come in on this countdown. Now let's say you want to hard stomp the top lane guys in 11-15. Well, one champion you have got to have in your champion pool is Quinn. And because Stridebreaker is no longer giving champions like Darius, Set, Nah, you know, that gap closer they need to jump onto you, top lane is so free right now for Quinn players. Like, it's impossible to get on you, right? All you have to do is just press your E when an enemy champion gets near you, and you just go back to perma harassing them, and it's very hard to actually beat you. Your ultimate as well is of course great for roaming around the map and impressing that lead you have from the top lane on other lanes, so you can actually 1v9 games and snowball really hard. So Quinn comes in, guys, at number 8 on this list. Now, one champion Quinn kind of does destroy, but the reason that Riven is coming in ahead of Quinn, guys, is just because she's got more carry potential, to be honest. Like Quinn, if you make one mistake, you're probably going to lose. But on Riven, even if you're 1-3, 1-4, 0-5, because of the synergy you have with your items at the moment, and the fact your items are just, to be honest, broken, so Gore Drinker, Black Cleaver, Steris Gauge, it's just the Riven with ability haste is just super annoying to play against, right? Like, she has all that health and sustain, also has a heck of a lot of damage to one-shot your backline, and it's very hard to nullify her threats completely. Now, of course, in lower elos, you're going to find Rivens who don't know how to play Riven, and they'll just be queuing around all over the place without auto-attacking. But the higher elo you are, the harder it is to play against good Riven players. The champion is just straight up broken, so she comes in at number 7. Now, beating Riven to the number 6 spot, guys, again in the top lane, is Lee Sin. And the reason I put Lee Sin above Riven is just because your ultimate, and in terms of playing Lee Sin, it's just easier to pull off, right? You know, you still go Gore Drinker, you still go Black Cleaver, same as Riven, but there is a lot more room for error. So if you just go in and run it down, you can still probably get out and actually still make a play, but on Riven, you are probably going to die and get punished for misplaying. So Lee Sin comes ahead of Riven, guys, in at number 6. Now, number 5, coming in hot here, this is an exciting one. This is Trundle, and Trundle has even been picked in some pro play games recently, which is kind of funny because I can't remember the last time Trundle was picked. And thanks to how broken Divine Sunderer is, and the 11-5 change that reduced your Q's cooldown by half a second to 3.5 seconds, this is kind of nuts, to be honest. And because Hullbreaker is going to be better next patch as well, and because as Trundle, you are an amazing 1v1 champion, even in like 1v2s and 1v3s, you can actually win because of your ultimate. Just make sure to use your ultimate on the healthiest enemy champion you're 1v3ing against, and you can't really go wrong. So Trundle comes in at number 5. Now, one of the few AD bruisers next patch, guys, who might be able to use Hullbreaker is Fiora, and this is the reason Fiora is coming in at number 4 on this countdown. Now, we all know with Gore Drinker and Ravenous Hydra, Fiora is one of the best, if not the best 1v1ing champion in the game. But Hullbreaker is actually a legit item and is sometimes built by Fiora players. Well, next patch, you're going to see this even more, and this is why she has to be on this countdown again. And Fiora is probably going to be on this countdown indefinitely, guys, because that massive passive buffer I gave you a few patches ago where you're dealing more damage with your vitals. So until this gets nerfed or your legs get chopped off, Fiora is coming in on this countdown. Now, starting off the top 3, guys, we have Nocturne, and I'm sure you all know why Nocturne is on this list. Even though Stridebreaker's slow went down from 90% to 40%, this is significant, and Nocturne's win rate did decrease. He's still really good, and I'm sure you all know by now, right? Like, when Nocturne jumps on you and ease you, unless you have your flash, you're getting feared. And not only that, but you're getting feared for like over 2 seconds. It's really fun and interactive gameplay. So Nocturne with Stridebreaker, Steris Gauge, GA, Black Cleaver, yeah, it's still really good. Now, beating him to the number 2 spot on this countdown, guys, is the best Divine Sunderer abuser on the Rift at the moment, and in 11-15, and this is Camille. And I'm sure if you've been paying attention to the pro scene, Camille is being played a heck of a lot more now, and the reason being is just because you do so much damage, and with Ignite and Teleport, this little setup, not only do you have that kill pressure in the laning phase, but also the potential to influence the map. And I don't really think anyone enjoys being hit for 1,000 damage from someone's Q, and this is Camille, and you can do this like every few seconds later in a game. So Camille is the runner-up to the 11-15 best top laner, and this mantle, guys, the number 1 champion you have to pick next patch in the top lane is Aurelia. And you might be like, but Aurelia's getting nerfed, what are you talking about, Jizz? Well, she is getting nerfed for sure, like other champions on this list, but she's still going to be insanely OP, and these nerfs not really that big. Yes, there might be a few of them, but they're not going to bring down that insane power. So okay, your W's AD ratio is decreasing by 10%. You're going to be reducing less of that physical and magical damage enemy champions are throwing at you, but I don't think people understand. It's only 4 stacks now to stack your passive, and even though your new Blade Surge might be a little slower than the old one, it's way more forgiving to actually play and use because each time you rank up your ultimate at 6, 11, and 16, your Q's cooldown is reducing, so if you do misplay, you're going to get your Q back up in team fights, and these are the big reasons why Aurelia's win rate has increased over 5% in the last patch, and next patch it might go down just by a tiny bit, but that's it, just by a tiny bit. She's still keeping so much of her power right now, and that's why she is the number 1 top laner for 11-15, and that was the countdown, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, and until tomorrow's video, remember to hit that sub button and to check out the GameLeap website if you you want to improve on the Rift, this has been the Jizz. Bye.